An I-Team exclusive investigation. The heroin epidemic is out of control. Rhode Island health officials confirm another person died of an overdose this week. 91 people have died in Rhode Island in just 4 months.
And now we've learned that one of those deaths was an inmate at the Rhode Island State Prison. It is a problem even behind bars. I-Team reporter Parker Gavigan with new numbers tonight showing heroin detoxes are sky high.
Locked up and off the streets, but the problems beyond the bars and barbed wire are still directly impacting lives on the inside.
We're seeing a dramatic uptick in the number of people that we're detoxing off of drugs.
Heroin is the drug of choice. It's cheaper than alcohol and marijuana, and it's available, even in prison or jail.
Our staff are pretty good about doing strip searches and things like that, but you can only detect so far. And to have that drive to want to get it, even in the prisons, tells you how serious this problem really is.
One inmate has already overdosed on narcotics this year at the Bristol County House of Corrections in Dartmouth. His life was saved. Sheriff Tom Hodgson laying out the facts of this dramatic spike in heroin-addicted inmates. The numbers are disturbing. Narcotic detoxes have gone through the roof. In 1 year, a 390% increase.
What goes through your mind when you see those numbers?
How much worse it must be on the street, because we're only seeing people that have been locked up.
The costs of detox are also on the rise. Inmates need more attention, sometimes isolation in the jail's medical wing. Bristol County does not treat addicted inmates with prescribed narcotics like methadone or Suboxone, but the sheriff has discussed bringing in the nasal spray Narcan, which quickly reverses an overdose. It's also yet another cost in an already strained budget.
At Rhode Island State Prison, the I-Team has learned one inmate has overdosed this year and lived. One did not. He died 1 day after arriving here at the ACI.
And he had ingested, unknown to us, a fair amount of opiates a medical examiner thought was heroin.
At the ACI, 60 to 80% of the inmate population has an issue with substance abuse.
Our population reflects the community, obviously. We can assume that we have folks here who have opioid issues. Unfortunately, we do not officially track drugs of abuse as folks come in here.
While the numbers aren't tracked, the Department of Corrections tells the I-Team the heroin epidemic is on their radar. Some inmates are prescribed methadone to withdraw from an addiction. Correctional officers have not been trained with the nasal spray Narcan, but nurses have. It hasn't been used.
This is really indicative of a trend that ought to be scaring every American about where our society's going, and the fact that we really have got to do something about this.
For Sheriff Hodgson, that solution requires national resources to attack the drug dealers and educate kids. Parker Gavigan, NBC 10 News.
If you have a tip for our I-Team, call our fraud and waste hotline 401-455-9123 or send an email to iteam@wjar.com.